fishing, it's in my soul.
Welcome to the Salt Strong Podcast, disrupting fishing entertainment as you know it. Prepare to laugh. Prepare to get to know fishing legends in a whole new and unfiltered way. And on occasion, you might even learn a thing or two about fishing. Here's your host, Joe Simons. Like diamonds.
88% of all adults here in America will die early because of this. Everybody, Joe Simons, Like Diamonds, back again. Salt Strong, Unchurched. This is a hard-hitting one. I'm actually here in my little workout room doing some push-ups, doing a little bit of a cardio, just based on the last month's C12. That's the Christian organization I'm a part of with a bunch of leaders from other companies. And we had a great meeting. Every month we have a new topic. This past month was all about health and how God created us to be vessels to accomplish his purpose. And here we are, most of us overweight. I mean, just going around the room, pretty much all of us, we ranked ourselves in terms of where we thought we should be. And health-wise, and almost everyone, actually everyone did say, I could afford to lose a few pounds. No one was 100% satisfied and happy and content with where we were. And then we started talking about some of these stats where 88% of adults in America are metabolically unhealthy, meaning they're essentially obese or getting close to obese, where their body is not situated and healthy enough to fight off things like diabetes and all the other things that, obese people suffer from. And just looking around America, I mean, just this past Memorial weekend, we had spent some time at the beach, and just, it is wild how many overweight people are there. And I'm going to pick on myself too, as I did in the prior podcast. I'm definitely, 10, 12, maybe 15 pounds over where I probably should be. And this one hit hard for me. And one of the quotes from our meeting, it says, "If you do not make time for your wellness, you will be forced to make time for your illness." And that hit home. You got kids, and everyone hopes and prays that you're going to live this long life and be able to be there with your spouse or your kids or grandkids or great grandkids, whatever it is. And yet many of us don't. And just based on this 88% was from the UNC Gilling School of Global Public Health, where they found that only 12% of American adults are metabolically healthy. I mean, that is absolutely scary. And I was listening to a podcast, and I don't even remember who it was, but he asked his students and his clients. He's it was a coach. It might have been the Dan Sullivan, and he says, all right, he goes, what age do you think you're going to be when you die? And most people, say that 85 to, 90 range is, he says in general, that seems to be the number, 85 to 90. And then he says, all right, well, let's just say it's 85. So let's look at your life at 84. What does that look like? The year before you're about to die, what does that look like? Can you guess what almost every single person says? Well, he said, without a doubt, almost 100% of people say the year before they're going to die, just 12 months before they're going to die, everyone describes their health as being, the best it's ever been, and eating healthy and working out and exercising and taking jogs and walks on the beach every day, and feeling great and still having energy at 84, and essentially painting this really nice picture of how awesome their health and their energy levels and all this stuff is going to be at the year before they're about to die. And so his next question always is, well, if that's the case and you're that healthy and that vibrant and feeling that good at 84, don't you think it's possible you might not die the next year, right? If you think about it, and like, yeah, I guess that's true. And I like, well, based on that, if you really did feel that good and you were eating that well and exercising well and you were metabolically healthy, not obese, not having to deal with diabetes and all the other stuff that does take people out early, how much longer do you think you could live? And people start saying, I don't know, 5, 10, 15, maybe 15 years if I'm that healthy. And so it's a great exercise because, then he's like, all right, well, cool. Well, knowing that, let's start building towards that life to make sure that when you do hit 84 or 89 or whatever the year is when you think you're going to die, which obviously none of us know, let's make sure that we're doing everything now to get to that level. And I recently had a physical, and the doctor said, hey, most of the things look good. There was some of the bad cholesterol, and she made a point. She's like, yeah, you're definitely under the threshold, but she's like, I've never met anyone who's above the threshold, like or at or I guess below, meaning no one that had essentially perfect cholesterol for their age and their mid 40s or higher. She goes, I've never had a patient that had it. And I was like, wow. But I was like, well, that's where we're supposed to be. And she's like, yeah, I mean, that's definitely where we're supposed to be, just based on the past and history, and just now we're just with all the processed food and just how Americans are in general. She goes, it's sad, but just no one's there. She's like, you're not that far over, but it definitely showed up as a red. And I was like, well, red can't be good. She's like, oh no, you're fine. Like, you should see my other patients. And I'm like, geez. So it is something that's impacting all of us. And, to me, tying this back into the unchurched, where it hit home for me, as I said, I mean, God created us and gave us the bodies he did to be vessels to accomplish his purposes. And, our bodies are supposed to serve as the dwelling place of the Holy Spirit. And I believe, right, we're supposed to honor that and honor God as our creator and take care of our bodies, the only body he gave us. We're not getting another one. And so this was really just kind of an alarm, if you will, about just prioritizing physical wellness in our lives, and even for me within our companies and my family. What's wild is NC12 every month in the very beginning, we have what we call a wheel, and we rate ourselves on where everything is with marriage, health, and finance, and just organizational development in our companies. And the as I kind of mentioned earlier, the wellness part and the health, it always seems to be really low for everyone. I always kind of like laugh about it. No one really does much about it, right? And so my challenge to you is to do something, right? Even if it's small. I mean, so many habits start off really, really small. I don't think it's smart to say, oh, I'm going to lose 30 pounds in 30 days. I don't think that's realistic. And even if you did, it would be really tough to keep all of that off. I think just small things, like for me, I'll just tell you what I did. And all the guys started laughing at me until I explained why. But we all challenge each other and hold each other accountable. So at the end of this session, everyone had to say one thing that we were going to do to work on our bodies and really caring for our bodies. And I said, I'm going to stop eating pretzels for 30 days. It's just a new habit. And once again, they all laughed. And I was like, well, what you don't know is I literally eat pretzels every single day. And usually I'll have a little bit at lunch after. It's just like a little light snack. And then a lot of times I am working out. And so I feel like, this is how a lot of us justify our eating habits. And so I'll chow down on pretzels. And for whatever reason, I love them so much, and they don't get me completely full. In fact, I'm at least was. I'm not anymore. I was a member of the Snyders of Hanover fan club, where Snyders would send me, and I'm sure tons of other people who are members of this club, different pretzels to test out and give them feedback on. Like, I'm just a pretzel freak. I love them. All the different kinds, all different flavors, sizes. It doesn't matter. I'll eat them. And so I did this one other time in my life, and I lost like 7 or 8 pounds really quickly. And so already I've lost a few pounds just from cutting them out. I'm basically in week 2 of no pretzels. And it's just amazing, the small stuff. And because of that one little thing about cutting out pretzels, which is essentially a bunch of carbs that I was having late at night before bed after dinner, and a lot of them, that one little thing has kicked off me now working out more and waking up with a little bit more energy. I'd be lying if I said it was just like game changing, where I'm waking up and just doing more jumping jacks and cartwheels out the bedroom door. But it's a small stuff. Like I said, you feel just a little bit more energy and a little bit more pep in the step, as Zig Ziglar used to say. And it's got me more excited about waking up early and getting a longer workout in. I was doing all my Miracle Morning stuff. If you haven't heard the Miracle Morning episode, it's a great one. And one of the things in the Miracle Morning is exercise. But I felt like I was shrinking that part down and expanding like reading and some other things in my morning ritual. And exercise was kind of the one that was just kind of put on the back burner. I was doing it, but it would be like real quick. Instead of going 15 minutes on the treadmill, I'd go 10. I was like cutting out stuff. And now I'm doing the opposite. I'm like, I'm going to spend more time here doing some exercises, whether it's on the treadmill or here in my little room where I got some weights and a mat and just doing push-ups and calisthenics. There's tons of free apps out there that can kind of give you like a routine. I found like that's helpful, because if I just say I'm going to do push-ups, I don't do enough, or I stop early. But when there's a routine, it helps me out big time. So that's my challenge to you, is let's change that stat one person at a time. Because if you change your body and people see you change, you are more likely to incentivize and inspire someone else around you, whether it be a best friend, a coworker, neighbor, spouse, kids, whatever it is. I mean, that's really what happens, right? For instance, if you grew up in a family and both your parents are massively obese, and that's who you look up to, you just assume that that's kind of normal. And the chances of their kids being obese as well and not healthy are probably pretty high. But if one of those parents is, I'm going to lose 80 pounds or whatever it is, now, the kids get to see that and inspired by it. I mean, literally, it's how you change a country. If just a big amount of people decided to become healthy and change their lifestyle. And that doesn't mean you got to go vegan and just completely change everything and eat like a little bird. A lot of it is eating, and the other part obviously is exercise. Even just smaller meals. I used to just chow down like on spaghetti and stuff, and even that I'm just like, I'll get a smaller portion. Especially if you eat a little bit slower, your body doesn't even need it. And once again, that's all just small little habits. So just want to challenge you guys. It hit me really hard. Just hearing that 88% of adults, that means, just based on those stats and looking at this study, that people are going to die earlier than they should. Well, I personally want to live as long as I possibly can, and just be a good steward and honor God as our creator by honoring my body the best I know how to. So love to hear you guys' thoughts. Anything that you've done personally or that you are going to do or going to work on, hit me up, joe@saltstrong.com. I want you hanging around this earth as long as humanly possible in good health, and do that exercise as well. Like, hey, what age do you think you're going to die? And then, go back 12 months prior to that, and what's your life look like? And if it is healthy and feeling vibrant and good, then man, keep expanding it, and then work on that plan. Begin with the end in mind. Love you guys, and I'll talk to you on the next episode.
'Cause fishing, it's in my soul, it was pain.